Welcome to the Crossview Commons, a new podcast featuring the ministries, ministry partners, and the people of Crossview Church. My name is Mark Lanting, and it's my pleasure to share with you what God is doing in and through Crossview Church in DeKalb, Illinois. And today, I am pleased to invite and to have on, I believe you're the Director of Network of Nations, Lisa Dietrich. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you are the second community connection partner that I've had on. The first was from We Care.
Beautiful.
Erin.
Yes.
And she knew you. I told her that you were coming on too, and she was excited about that. So thank you for taking some time this evening to help Crossview and whoever else listens get to know you a little better.
Well, I am just blessed to be here, and it is a privilege.
Okay. Well, it's our pleasure. And just why don't you start by introducing yourself? Tell us who you are.
Okay.
Anything, family, interest, church life, whatever you like talking about.
All right. I am Lisa Deitrich. I am married. I have 4 children. We do live in St. Charles, so I come here to do ministry and to be in community. It's more than just ministry. And I have my human services from Judson and finishing up my master's in intercultural studies at Wheaton.
Oh, cool.
God changed my trajectory in 2014 to see the world in a more focus of the kingdom. And I thought I was going to be a missionary in the Czech Republic. However, God changed. He didn't open those doors, but he opened this one here at Network of Nations.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And how long have you been with Network of Nations?
I have been, in August, it'll be 5 years.
5 years with Network of Nations.
Yes.
That's great. Well, and that's really what we're here to talk about. Can you tell us just, if someone were to ask you, what is Network of Nations?
Okay. Network of Nations is a parachurch ministry. It is an opportunity for the church body to come together in ministry and connect with internationals here at NIU, at Kishwaukee, in the surrounding area of DeKalb.
Okay. And for those who don't know, NIU's Northern Illinois University.
Correct.
And Kishwaukee's Kishwaukee College. I didn't know you worked with international students at Kish as well.
We do. We have some connections there through their ESL.
Oh, yeah.
And we partner with people here in the area, and we do ESL classes for conversational English and some other things, but I'll talk about that as we move on.
Just this very day, I work at Rock Valley College in Rockford, and I was part of a panel talking about how we can better meet the needs of language learners on our campus.
It's important, and there are so many opportunities to do that, especially with those who have moved into the area. Mm-hmm. There are different demographics and people groups, and as they move in, they just want to become part of the culture.
Right. I can imagine there are all kinds of stresses, strains, alienation, loneliness, all kinds of things that people from different countries are dealing with when they come to study here for whatever amount of time, right?
Absolutely. There are statistics that show that they have depression, changes in mood, changes in eating habits, homesickness, anxiety, the differences in education, the differences in food, and things of that nature. And the education system is always different also compared to where they're coming from to here. And so there's a lot of different things that they have challenges with. Not only that, but the challenges of possibly never seeing their families again.
Goodness, yeah.
Or their families are sick, or a family member passes away. They don't get that opportunity. Or not being able to do wonderful things such as marriages or births or...
Right. They're kind of in this, education mode, right? They're here for that, but life is going on back home, and here they are, and they hear about things but may not be able to do anything about it.
Yeah, it's very stressful.
Yeah.
It's lonesome, can be very lonesome. They're a more collective community than we are here, as we are very individualistic here in the United States. And so that collectiveness, we try to bring back, and we hopefully we're able to build friendships and long-term friendships.
Yeah, that's great. I know about Network of Nations strictly because I come to Crossview Church, and we have quite a number of people who've been active with Network of Nations for a long time.
Since the beginning.
Okay, so we're part of the onset. Is that
You
right?
are the yes. There are people who are in this church body who were the jumping ground and who actually had their names on the first paperwork in order to start the ministry, and they're still connected. There are people in the community who have been part of Network of Nations for 20 years, over 20 years.
That's so cool.
And who are dedicated and see the need and see the love and see the beautiful opportunity to make this world smaller.
That's so cool. There's so much that has happened in this history of the church, and I keep hearing this kind of story. Yeah, Crossview is there. Crossview is there, right?
Yeah.
It's a real testimony to the integrity and the character of our founding membership. We're about, a 30-year-old church, more than that now. I've only been here 9 years. A lot happened before that, including these intersections with and launches of ministries in our area here, and that's so cool.
And the best part is our historians, of those who have been. You're able to go and say, okay, what happened? What was the process? Can we do it again? What are the changes that we can do? Can we implement something else? Not that everything has to be 100%, but if there are needs, can we meet the need? And has it been done before?
That's great. So what exactly do you do for these international students? I was looking at your website and I have some perspective. I knew about a couple of them. I didn't know about everything, though.
So the first one is airport pickup.
Okay.
We're out in DeKalb. It's about an hour and 20 minutes away from the airport.
Yep.
So we connect right away with students. Students sign up, and we have volunteers who help with airport pickup. And they start connecting with the students prior to them even,
That's okay.
for them to come to DeKalb. So if they have questions, and I can tell you that we still have students who still remember the drivers' names, who still remember the volunteers' names, because how that important it was, the stress of them being able to get where they were going safely, kindly, with encouragement, sometimes pictures at the DeKalb sign, and just making it a joyful entry.
Yeah, I can imagine it's a very vulnerable position to be in. You don't have connections here, right?
I know a student who actually took the train downtown, took the Greyhound out to DeKalb. It took him 12 hours to get here.
Yeah. Needless, right? But
had no idea because he had never made any contact with anybody before coming.
Yeah, that's great. All right, so there's the airport pickup, and I imagine some airport drop-off happens too?
Occasionally, because you start having relationships with the students, and sometimes that does happen.
Sure.
But we really tried to do it first and second semester.
Okay.
And because those are our big times of when new students are coming in. And so that we just want to make sure that they get here safely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And get to the location that they're going to be staying at.
Great. Then I know that there's a Friday night, like a meal time. What it's called, Feast of Nations or something.
Intercultural Cafe.
I knew there was a cool name. Darn it.
You were close.
Intercultural Cafe.
Intercultural Cafe. Intercultural Cafe. Every Friday we have Intercultural Cafe. However, this Friday we don't. It's Good Friday.
Right.
And then during breaks we do not. Intercultural Cafe is where a church is able to come and serve a meal. Every Friday, a different church serves. Usually the churches who are connected with Network of Nations, they choose one Friday in fall semester, one Friday in spring semester. So hopefully they're making connections. Hopefully they're inviting. It's all about hospitality, and that hospitality brings you into a deeper relationship, into a deeper opportunity, into a deeper opportunity to share the love of God,
Absolutely.
To share Jesus.
So the people from a particular church on a given Friday are bringing quite a lot of food, I imagine.
Correct.
To share with this international crowd. And then is the idea to sit and have dinner with students as well?
Yes.
All right, cool. And that's where the magic happens.
That's where, yes, it does. And that's where invitations happen. That's where relationships are built. That's where you're able to hear their story. That's where they're able to hear you. There's a lot of opportunity for cross-cultural communication, which is huge right now in the United States, especially when you come from a culture who you've never met other cultures. And this is an opportunity to meet other cultures also from around the world.
Would be great for my kids. I mean, do families come?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. So just give a little bit more exposure and a little diversity in their experience as well.
Correct. And then not only that, let's say you have a heart, God places a heart for Chinese students, or for, let's say you're just, God's really touching you and saying, I really have a heart for Brazil right now and I don't know why. It's a place for you to come.
That's so cool.
Or I have a place for Sierra Leone, or I have a place for somewhere in Africa and I don't know why and it's heavy on my heart.
Yeah.
Or I've been missions and I've done and I've gone there and it's something I'm on fire for.
Yeah. So my wife and I were missionaries in the Philippines for a few years. Our first son was born there. My wife grew up in the Philippines as a missionary kid, and she makes a really good adobo. Maybe we should bring a big adobo. Wouldn't that be fun?
I think so. That and pancit.
Those are two of our favorites, along with the Shanghai lumpia. So we'd love to come out when it's Crossview's turn and strut our stuff a little bit because it's good.
That is good. We do have some students from the Philippines who are here also.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, to have a large land-grant university nearby, it really adds so much to our community, right? And so much to our lives. There's so much. While we want to minister, we can gain tremendously as well.
It's both and.
Yeah.
It's yes and.
Right.
And we're involved with taking them to the Social Security office, teaching them how to drive, having baby showers, having bridal showers, having things that they may have just lost because they just don't have that connection with home anymore.
I love that, and becoming, extended family. And is it a prerequisite that the students be believers?
No.
I didn't think so. Playing devil's advocate a little bit.
All are welcome.
That's so cool.
All are welcome.
Right.
We have Hindus, we have Muslims, we have atheists, we have Zoroastrians, we have people from all over the world. We also have Christians from all different denominations, and it is a welcome. It's a place of welcome.
That sounds just perfect. I love that. And what a neat facet of ministry. And I love that it involves not just a single, but many churches in the region to make that happen, I imagine.
One of my favorite things is when there are possibly maybe two churches, bringing them together, having them work together in order to make this happen. To me, sometimes, you don't get out of your church and you don't know who's in the community, and they're having the same conversations and they're meeting new people, and that fills my heart.
Yeah, we could do international evangelism right here in DeKalb, Illinois, right?
That's it.
So cool. All right, I love hearing about that, but I know there are other things that you do at Network of Nations. What are some of the other?
We have a women's group called GLOW
yes,
for Global Women. And we meet every other week. We have facilitators. Actually, Jane Pace from Crossview is one of the women. And so we meet every other week. We do crafts, outings. We have space and time together where women can be women. A lot of the women who come, some of them, their husbands are students, and they are not able to really be out. So we give them a place for having community, having a time for being women, baking, but also resources. So I have individuals from outside come in and teach. Hopefully we're going to be having the Ben Gordon Center come out, and they're going to be teaching mental health first aid, which is a 2-year certification, which people can actually put on their resumes and things of that nature, and that's really important. So it's resourcing also in the community, but also bringing together the community that they can support each other.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
And befriend each other because they come here lonely.
Cool.
Another, we also have Revelation
I
7.
was just looking at that on your webpage.
Which is our Bible study.
Okay.
Revelation 7 started right before COVID. It's sometimes difficult. Sometimes students do make it to church who are Christians. They find local churches in the area. Sometimes they say, Lisa, I'm looking for a church. And I say, what's your flavor? What is it? What would you like? Who would you like to be connected with? And I love it when the students participate with the local churches and attend. Right now, through Revelation 7, we have been going through the minor prophets.
Wow.
And I start off with Bible Project video. And then we go through the minor prophets, and it's a one chapter a day. And we're right now to Zechariah. Did Zechariah 3 today.
Yeah, Bible Project has just become kind of this universal teacher for all of us. Isn't that great?
It gives a great concept of what the context is.
Right.
And then to go into...
They lay the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to go into the Word, and I usually do it audio so that, let's say, students if they're on the bus or they're tired of reading, they can just pop it in their ear and they can just listen to what the Word has to say. Minor prophets aren't easy, but they've been there's like 25 of them who are holding on, who are going through it daily.
Wow, that's tremendous.
Yes.
Great. How many students would you say you're touching in a given year?
So...
That's probably a hard number to pin down.
Right. So prior to COVID, there were anywhere between 1,000 to 1,300 students, non-international students at NIU.
Yeah.
We were serving the year before COVID approximately anywhere between 80 and 100 students on Fridays.
Wow.
However, then COVID hit. God spoke to me about the need of what they're going to need. And so in one day, we did a food drive. The next day, we distributed 90 parcels of food to students.
Wow.
2 weeks of break, then everything went online.
Yeah.
That means also the college closed. Their visas don't allow them to work off campus. They live off campus. Most of the students we connect with are grad students.
Yeah.
And so we started a food pantry. We were delivering food for a year out of our van.
Wow.
Then we moved to being at Emmanuel Lutheran Church, where we have our cafe.
Sure.
Which allows us to host, and they're so gracious to us.
Fantastic. What a great partnership.
It is. And then we served 250 students per semester at least of food. Yeah. But here's the thing. At first, we were telling them to go to the different food pantries. However, most of the food they don't eat. It wasn't culturally sensitive.
Right.
All of our food was culturally sensitive.
Wow.
It was from India, Africa, different parts of Africa, different parts of different countries, South America, Middle East, Southeast Asia. And it was such a blessing to do that. And it was crazy getting all that food.
It strikes me though, the organization is nothing if not nimble, right? Like here's a occasion, and everyone had to pivot in one way or another with COVID, right?
Well, the students, if they would have not had the food, emotionally, let's look, even in the world sense, just not in God's sense, but let's say Maslow's theory, just shelter and food.
Goodness, yeah.
Students were having a lot of hard times during COVID.
I'm sure.
It was not good.
Yeah, I think we're just starting to get back to how things kind of were. Everything's changed.
Yes, everything's changed.
But it was rough. I can only imagine.
So last year we started back again into cafe, and it was a process just to get back into cafe. And then now we're open. We're serving anywhere between 60 and 80 students a week.
That's great. Wonderful. That's terrific. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yes.
And I'm glad that Crossview can be a part of that too.
Me too.
So about your organization, I'm just curious. What do you have in the way of staff? How does that work? Are you strictly voluntarily run? It seems like there are a lot of moving parts, and it's going to take some people.
Okay. That's interesting that you say that. So we do have an executive board of 10, and those individuals really keep me in check.
All right.
And they come from many different churches throughout the area who participate with Network of Nations.
I saw we have one of them on there, Barbara Cox.
Yes. Actually, you may have 2.
Oh, okay.
And possibly another third is coming
all
pretty
right,
soon.
awesome.
We'll see what happens.
Well, how exciting. Cool.
Yeah. And then myself, however, I work 30 hours, really 50 hours.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm on 24/7. My husband says I never shut off.
Yeah.
I'm constantly in communication.
Something about you non-for-profit people, that's just how you roll,
right?
right?
It's the beast. And so I am supposed to do 30 hours. And then I have an assistant, and she's lovely. She started just in last August.
Yeah.
And we're just transitioning, and it's just the two of us. I do a lot of communication. So monthly, I have our lead people who I have called them our ambassadors. We have usually one ambassador per church, and they should be sending out information to each church. We have monthly meetings for those ambassadors. We have monthly meetings with our executive board. And then it's all communication, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, MailChimp, and then just posting.
Cool.
Yeah. And then we also connect just, one-on-one. There are many people who have special gifts.
Yeah.
But we have a team at the cafe who is our kitchen team and our hospitality team.
And these are volunteers?
They're all volunteers, and they've been there since the beginning.
Oh, how cool. Wow.
They are there every Friday, unless on vacation. We also have a group before cafe. It's called Chit Chat and Chai.
I saw that.
And that's a time for students to come and just have conversation and have some tea and just sort of settle down. A lot of students don't come out behind a computer all week long.
Right.
And it's their opportunity to talk. We are hoping we are going to be moving. We have been at First Baptist Church has been such a blessing to Network of Nations. That's really the prime location of where it all started.
I see.
When it first started. And they have been a blessing to Network of Nations to allow the office to be there. However, we have just partnered with another student ministry, which is at the Judson Baptist location on Normal and Lucinda. We face the Student Life building, and we are going to be moving our office there.
Well, that sounds wonderfully ideal.
Yes. And so we'll be able to be present on campus, offering more programming, and we will hopefully be open more often so students can have a place.
More. Yeah, right. Wow.
So, truthfully, really praying to go full time.
Okay.
That would mean more funding, however. But I think all in all, it would be a great blessing.
Yeah, so you're ready to take a deeper dive.
Ready to take a deeper dive. We are going to be moving hopefully June or July.
Wow.
And then having a grand opening in August.
Yeah.
We have our gala August 6th for fundraising. And then that's at River Heights Golf Course. A couple of other things that I think we're missing.
Sure.
As far as programming is concerned, we do have an ESL program.
Ah, wow.
We have a group of women who are from the Sudanese community, and they have asked us to help them with their English conversation, and we just love them.
Wonderful.
Completely. And the possibility of a men's group and possibly doing an English citizenship. Their status allows them to do that.
Wow.
And so we're just grateful to have a relationship with them. They're so lovely.
Yeah. There's so much going on there. It's just really a remarkable ministry. Yet you mentioned funding, and I'm wondering how you go about funding. You mentioned your gala, and that's a nice fundraiser, I'm sure. But it takes more than a gala to run a ministry.
Yeah.
So how does funding work for Network of Nations?
So funding is really individual-based and church-based. We do not have enough to do more grant writing. We have had some special grants through the DeKalb County Community Foundation, which is wonderful. A great partner.
Right.
And then also Give DeKalb, which is coming up on May 4th. That's a huge day for us. But we just need to get over the little hump so that possibly we could go full time. And then we hope that that will happen.
All right, really
We're in
cool.
prayer for that.
That's exciting. Yeah. So if people want to give, what are some ways they can do that?
Well, on our website at networkofnations.org, we do have a donate button there. We do sometimes do some fundraising on Facebook, and they can do it through Facebook. If your company matches, you can do it together with your matching company, and we do have a tax ID, and we can fill out all the paperwork for that. Actually, some of our alumni have done that, where they have asked if they could put us, and we've filled out all the paperwork, and we have had them match.
That's a really good idea. I love that.
I love it, too.
Yeah.
I love it when the alumni remember and know how special Network of Nations was to them at the time of when they were having their education.
For sure. Well, that's great. So you mentioned some ways to keep in touch with you. So Facebook, what other channels do you have if we want to follow you or watch what's happening at Network of Nations?
So actually, we do have Facebook, our regular Facebook, which is like our front page. We also have a Facebook community page, which has about 1,400 international students who are on that page, who connect with us that way, and that's how we connect with them the quickest, especially if things are going on or problems like that.
Don't worry,
I'm talking with my hands. And then we also have a Network of Nations ministry page, and we have people who are in the community who are starting to know about that. I just started that last year, and we have about 250 people there, and if they'd like to connect with us there, that is an opportunity to ask for an invitation onto that closed group.
That's really cool. And, as we draw toward a close, what are one or two things that you'd want everyone to know about Network of Nations?
Network of Nations is a real blessing. You know, I think I had heard one time that international student ministry is one of the best kept secrets. And to me, that's really sad because it's such a, it's so fruitful. And we have the opportunity to reach the world. Only 5% of the world go on to continuing education after a bachelor's degree. So we have the elite of the elite here at NIU when we are connecting with our grad students.
And when they come here and they receive the hospitality of the Lord's church, the touch of Jesus, imagine what impact that can have back in their homeland, right?
Yes. And not only that, the perspective of what they may have been taught.
Yeah.
Because I can't change how I feel. You know, it's, how can I say it? It's sort of like, I have met you. You have changed my life. I hope you meet me, and I have changed yours.
Amen.
You know, and isn't it the way that how heaven kisses earth?
Yeah.
It can only be through God's people.
That's how it's supposed to be, right? We're His church, and it's our job to be that kingdom, just as you're saying. It's so well put.
At one time, you know, sometimes you see these diagrams of the world, right? And then you see heaven, and you see the cross, and you see the bridge.
Right. Yeah.
That 5-minute napkin thing. And I was in a class one time at Wheaton, and I'm like, I don't see it like that. I see it like this. And I drew the earth, and I drew heaven, and then I drew a heart between.
Yeah.
And it touches the edges. And that's how God is all, but that's how He reaches us, and that's how we connect with Him.
Yeah, the term already but not yet comes to mind, right? We're bringing the existing kingdom of God to a needful world, showing them what can be for all eternity, but can start right now, right?
Right, restoration.
Yeah. All that.
Yeah.
Lisa,
rehabilitation.
It is so fun having you here, and I know it's only 30 minutes, but I think it gives people a lot better perspective about you and your ministry. Thank you so much for giving us your time and for the wonderful work that you do.
Well, God bless you for allowing me to be here.
My pleasure. And thank you all for joining us. So services at Crossview are on Sundays at 9 a.m. and 10:45 a.m. And both of those services are streaming online live at both times. For more information on Crossview, visit our website at crossviewefca.com. For more information on Network of Nations, just as Lisa said, go to networkofnations.org and search them up on Facebook, and you'll find lots of good stuff. Until next time, we'll see you then.